And welcome back to my channel. I just want to start off this video, and I'll put it in the community post, but I just want to apologise for the lack of content. It's been non-stop appointments, hospital visits, scans, Isabel being put under. I've got my surgery tomorrow. Yeah, so it's been a lot, but I'm hoping to get this video filmed for you today, hopefully. Now, I did ask on the community tab 3 different pictures, and you all chose this one, which actually it was between this one and that one for me, so I'm happy either way. But this is Hanna Karlzon's newest book, the Atlantis. Now, it's not my favourite, but I'm still going to work in it. I did enjoy doing this double page spread, even though it did take me a long time. I still really enjoyed it, so I thought I'd give this one a shot as well. Now, I'm using the Prima watercolour palette in Currants. I thought that would be perfect for this book. I've got a mixture of different size brushes. Believe it or not, that is clean water. Low tack tape just to protect this side. And my camera's flashing. Now, I do want to keep you fairly high up because I want to work on the background. It's going to be a really simple watered down watercolour background, a barely there one. So I thought I'm better off getting that out of the way, because then it's an easier application. You can just splash it everywhere and not worry about what you've already done. So with the low tack tape, now you can see there is still a little bit of bleed through. That's from the double page spread, unfortunately. So that can't be helped. That was a good job that was low tack tape, because it stuck right in the middle of the face. Now, I do plan with this one is I don't want to make a natural skin tone. I've been really enjoying just experimenting, so I'm thinking like turquoise or blue even. So I should have been getting these activated while I was chatting away. I like the colour of that I've already previously mixed. Now, with this palette I do just mix my own colours, but I will directly go in. But I like that ocean shade, which is this one here. So let's activate this, and then I'll activate that. I might even just do the whole lot, because I'll end up using nearly all these colours. So a couple of drops with the pipette. They do take a little bit longer to get going, these paints. And my idea as well is a little bit of pencil shading, purely because of time, and I get bored really easy. So doing a page just with pencil sometimes is a bit of a nightmare. So I need a big brush. I did get glue on my big favourite brush accidentally right at the tip, so it's not, yeah, it doesn't even bend there anymore. It's probably useless this now, so I don't know why I'm keeping all of it. I do need to replace it, but you can see all the glue there. Maybe I can just cut that bit out, maybe. So let's see if I've got, I think this is probably the next best thing, and it's nowhere near as big, but it'll have to do. I just want this for clean water. I can start doing that now actually, so just clean water on this brush, and then if I lift the paper up you'll be able to see the sheen. Now, I'm not puddling it on, I just want to make sure that the paper's wet before I put any paint on. And I will let this air dry naturally. I'll probably leave it for about half an hour or so and go off and do a couple of things and then come back. So let me just check if I've missed any bits. It needs a little bit more down here. So I hope everyone else is doing alright. I like I said, I've just been busy and stressed with family stuff. Once tomorrow's over with, I'll feel better. It's actually making me sick, I'm not worried. Stupid. Right, that should be okay. Don't mind if that dries a little bit. Now, what size brush do I use? Let's just play it safe. A Billy Shorwell size 6 brush. So I want to make sure that's wet first. And let me just test. I've just dabbed it straight on. Let me just test this colour. I'm just going to use this tea towel. Yep, I like that colour. This is the colour that I've already previously mixed. I want to add more water. Do you want this really watered down? And then, you know, you can always add to it, but you can't take it away. I've already splashed some on her. So it's a good job I said turquoise skin. Blend that out. This will dry lighter. The thing I don't like edges. I like it to seamlessly bleed. So I'm going to have to probably make sure. I've not done this technique on this paper before, but I assumed it wouldn't dry mega quick. So I'll go around the edge again. Let's load paintbrush up. And randomly start popping it on. I'm going to use a different colour though as well, I think. I've got my eye on that green that I've previously mixed. So loading the brush up and dabbing it onto the paper. Not too fussed if I get onto the illustration, because this is going to be a lot lighter anyway. And it's all going to be the same tone, I think. See, we're going to get the line at the bottom there. Just load that back up with water, just to stop that from happening. And then I'll pop some of this green on. Let's see what this does. The very centre bit, I'm not going to add paint purposely. I have got the brush in my mouth, if you're wondering. I'm just going to use water, just so there's no harsh edges. And with the green, let's see what we can get this to do. Got a couple of different greens here. Oh, they're very similar. Let's add a bit of that one. I think I prefer the other green actually, the one that I previously made. Yeah, definitely. Now, before that's dried, add a tiny bit of this turquoise, just double checking that it's not like mega pigmented. In just a few areas. Now I've learnt now, after doing this for quite a few years, don't mess with it too much. I have a tendency to go back and mess with things. If you think it's right, just leave it at that point. I'm going to add a tad more of that lighter green, and then that'll be the background more or less done. And you'll see what I mean. Once I come back, it'll be a lot lighter. So you can get a good idea though how wet the paper is. So it's time to be patient, which I'm not very good at. Well, it's dried really nice. There's a couple of areas that I'm not overly happy with, and I could always correct that at the end. I just don't want to wait now. I want to carry on painting, but yeah, there's a couple of areas like here. A tiny bit at the bottom there. If I think I'll go over the top with just clean water later, that'll be alright. I didn't actually need this tape, did I? I think I'll use the exact same palette. I've got two different size brushes. I've still got the 6, but I'll work with the 2 as well. we'll work on this structure on the outside. Now I have pulled out this palette. This is just completely dried on. I can't get it off. I think it's that E-Coline liquid watercolour, I think. And just because I was lazy, I didn't clean it. It's completely dried. So what I'm thinking, let me have a look at the swatches. I'm quite liking actually the idea of this yellowy green. I'll try and incorporate most of the colours in this palette. So I'll just take some of the colour, let's pop it there. And use my pipette. Let's add some water. A little bit more. You're always better off having too much paint so you don't run out when you're halfway through. So yeah, just let's get started. So yeah, we'll go round I think and then work at the bottom. It's just I don't want to keep putting my hand in it, you see. So is this part of it as well? I think it is, so I'll use a smaller brush I think for the fish. I do think that's part of it. So you can see it's pigmented enough that it's covering up. If I just move it like that, it's covering up that background colour. Because then it just saves you having to use the masking fluid, which takes forever sometimes. I might actually, just so I'm a little bit more precise, I want to switch over to the size 2 brush, load it up in this colour, take off any excess. That's better, but I'll have to keep dipping into the palette a little bit more. So while I've already switched, I might as well do the fish. I do think it's meant to be part of it. So I'll just try my best to keep in the line, especially around the edge. Because it's more obvious if you make a mistake, well, you get away with it if it was closer to the centre. I could have always done this like a grey colour to make it look like stone, but do something different. Oh, I put too much up there. Way too much. So the paper's behaving at the moment as well. But I've never had an issue, from what I can recall, of having any problems with Hanna Karlzon books. I mean, you could gesso the page just to be safe. So what colour is this one? Algae. It's a fitting name, I suppose. Yeah, I'll do the bottom area last because I'm just a bit worried about dipping my hand in it. I do have to be careful of the coral. I can see that I've gone over some here, so I'll do the same with like these weird shaped ones, but the pointier ones I'll keep empty. They're nice watercolours, these primers, if you've not tried them before. They are a little bit on the chalky side, but you can see how pigmented they are. So I'll do these as well. We'll just have to colour them in with pencil, like shade them with a slightly different shade, I think. So you can see what speed that I'm working at here. I'm trying to avoid any lines, like the drying lines, like working sections. I'm not going to go individually around these. They can all be the same colour. I think we'll leave. Oh no, that's part of it, isn't it? That top part, that, yeah, part of it. That the ornamental part. I just think using watercolour in colouring books, I don't know about you, but I just really enjoy it. You could be adding different shades before it dries and it'll bleed together beautifully. But I just want to do the easiest possible thing. And then if you wanted to follow along as well, you'll find it easy too. Where you start adding different colours, it gets a little bit harder. I'm going to have to keep shimmying it around. Look at it, I think I've mixed, well not mixed, taken off the palette here. Well, I can say mixed because this colour would look different depending how much water you actually add to the paint. I had to think there for a second. Was I covering that up, this? And then we've got the fish. Oh, run out the lines a little bit there. Not to worry. Let's work up here. I feel like I'm getting a little bit messy because I'm trying my best to be as quick as possible so I'm not getting lines, but then you risk going out of the lines and making it look messy anyway. Right, just got a bottom section to do now, so I'll do this layer by layer. I've got a little coral again at the bottom, but that's going to be the same colour. I'm gonna actually do this whole section here. I was gonna miss some gaps, but actually I'll just deepen them up. And I'll make it look like it's shadowed. Get in there. Put too much on my brush, let's spread that out. I don't like how that's leaking, so I've just added a little bit of extra water on there. But so far so good. I'm just thinking now, I wonder if I could get away. I'm gonna deepen some of it up with a little bit of paint, just a little bit, and that'll save even more time. So I'll use the deep sea, so basically the one next to it. Oh, it needs more water. Saying that, I was probably downstairs about 40 minutes, so no wonder. Yeah, so add some of that blue. That might be too much. Actually, I'm going to put a bit here. That's why this palette's dead handy. I love it. And then we'll add some water to this one actually, because there was less paint in there. Add a little bit more of the blue. I think that should be dark enough. I don't want it really, really dark. Right. So we'll start off. Are we dry? Almost dry. We'll get away with that. Just want a little bit. Oh no, it's not going to be dark enough. More blue please. No, it's still not dark enough. Please tell me that's dark enough now, because it's completely changing it. Let's have a see. So put it right to the tip there. Oops a daisy. And the same with this side. Some more colour. Just look, I want to load it on really. And then with a different brush, so I've got the size 6. I'm going to make sure that's clean because it did have that green colour on there. Take off any excess. And just blend that edge out. Yeah, that's the right decision. Don't go any darker than that, I don't think. So then, where do we want it here? I think we'll put it here. Pull it down about that far. Same with this side. Ish. Completely load my brush up because I want it darkest at the very top. Now, don't do this if the green bit has not nearly dried, otherwise this colour will just bleed into it. So same thing, clean the size 6 brush off, take off any excess, and just blend. I don't know if they call it feather, I'm not sure. I just don't want a harsh line. Like that's forming there into a harsh line. I thought I put my hand straight into it, then I didn't. See how it just deepens it ever so slightly? I think actually we'll do the same. Just like that, and then I'll blend it out in a minute. I love it when ideas work. Just blend them edges out and pull the colour down just a little bit. Yeah, that looks better. I think I want to do the very... Shall I do the centre? No. The very top of this area. And the tops of these. My washing machine's going crazy. You didn't even see that then. Silly me. I'm just blending that out now. Clean my brush off. I'm getting that nasty line there. Let's go over that until I'm happy with it. Then we want to go the opposite. Do I want to go the opposite way or carry on going? No, we'll do. Yeah, we'll carry. We'll carry on. So it needs to be the opposite way. About that much. Same thing on the other side. And blend them edges out. That one's not too bad. This one is not nice. Like that. Same thing as the top. Actually, with this one, I'm going to fill in the whole thing and then pull it down a little bit. So like that. No, I want it a little further down. Just a little bit. But you see, that's just saved me from doing all that with pencil. I can deepen it up a little bit more later on. And then we need to do the very bottom. I think the title of this video should probably just be Paint With Me, but I will use pencil eventually. So with that very bottom section, I'm going to make it really dark here, keep this the lightest, and then go in with the smaller brush. Have I got an even smaller brush out? I have, to do this bit down here. So, start filling in. This very top section. My mind went completely blank then. You know when you know what you want to say, but it doesn't come out. Just like that. Use that bigger brush just to blend it out. Might need a little bit more colour in the very centre actually. Yeah. And then switch to the teeny tiny brush. I'm sure this is, yeah, it's a 0. And the bits that I probably, oh, it's bleeding. It's bleeding, it's bleeding. Actually that might add to it. The bits that I said I was just going to make shaded, I'm just going to fill that in with the darker green. Panic over, I thought it was literally all going to bleed on me then, but no, it's fine. Then go underneath, where I think there's going to be a shadow. So that stonework, let's say it's pulled out close to the camera, that it would create a shadow underneath with all these. That's what I think. The only thing I think is missing at this palette is a nice, maybe a dark grey or a straight up black even. So you didn't have to use another palette. Let's deepen this up even more. And I'll blend the edges out as well. So getting my clean one, I'm getting confused now. Doesn't take much. Just like that. We just need to do them little fishes now. And then I also want to check if it's bled through. We've not bled through yet. We've not bled through yet. I think I will let this dry. Yeah. Instead of risking it. So the fish. Start off at the bottom. I'm just imagining if I was using pencil to shade this, this is the area that I will go. Do you want to make them as similar as possible? That side was a lot more wet. No lines. And then what about like, yeah, the what do they call the fins? The fins? Up into the very centre. Just leave that for a minute. Do the same other side. That's too much on that. And then clean this brush off. Let's see if I can just, no, this brush is not big enough for that job. So let's go in with the size 2. Oh, I'm just seeing comments now, people saying don't apologise. No, but I am. And I'm sorry that I've not managed, especially to my channel members, it's got to be said. I do feel guilty, but I'll be honest with you, by the time that I've sorted her out for bed, and if I've had a rotten night, which has been 9 times out of 10 recently, the last thing I want to do is sit here in the evening and talk to you guys. I know it sounds horrible. I just want to sit here in silence and do my painting and colouring. So yeah, I am sorry. I'm quite happy with that actually. I think it's turned out. I'm wondering. No, I'm going to leave them white just to make it a bit different. I was just trying to decide off camera whether I want the hair or the skin to be this turquoise shade. And I think this one, I think I'm going to make it looks different on camera. That to me is like a true turquoise. On camera for some reason it's showing up more blue. Yeah, I think I'm going to do the hair in that colour because there's more of the hair and I love that colour. And then a skin, I'll do a light layer of either deep sea or blue whale. Well, you know what? It actually says on here the pigments that they've used to mix it. Well, there's light fast rate. I'm going to learn something new. Well, there's light fast ratings as well. So I'll keep all 3 of these brushes out. I'll do a skim first. Yeah, we'll do the skim first. So what is the second one in? So let's pop a little bit of that down. A little bit, that's too much. And just some water. And let's give it just a testy test. It needs more water, definitely for the skin. Yeah, I can tell that that's right. So I just want a thin layer of this. I am not doing any shading with watercolour for the skin. number one, because it's not watercolour paper and it probably will look terrible, and number two, I do like colouring skin different colours at the minute, so I do want to use my pencils for this part. I'm even going to go over the lips because I'm undecided on what colour I want them. So let's go over that again. I don't want it to look streaky. Oh, hello fly. Can you see that on camera? Won't get stuck on one of the traps. There's a little bit there, it's the neck. And there as well. I think that's what it's meant to be. You know. Just trying to be as careful as possible. I think this is part of the neck as well. Yeah. I could always give her some green eyeshadow. This is what I mean about letting things dry, because if that were wet I just would have spoilt it. I mean, you can use a heat gun, you just risk the paper, it'll just bow a little bit. So if you've got the time and patience, I would recommend just waiting for it to dry. You're almost drying. Just realised I'm being really careful around the hand, but that's going to be the same colour. So this is just acting, it's just getting rid of the white of that paper, giving us a nice base colour to work with. So this needs to be, yep. I'm going to do the hands while I'm at it. Oh, I've not noticed that ring. How nice is that ring? I've literally just shoot all my jewellery off. Ready for tomorrow. Then this part here. What's that at? So that's the base of that done. I'm going to start working on the hair now. That won't take too long to dry. So in with that turquoise, just straight up this one colour. I'm not adding anything else to it other than a little bit of water. Let's give it a test. That might be too dark. Let's get this hair filled in. We've got these flowers in the hair as well, so I need to decide what colour I want them. Now these little beads and stuff, I'm not fussing with going round them. I'm just going over the whole thing, because I can just make them a deeper colour and it covers the blue up. Just being careful of the edges. Especially around the face. And she says that, and then go straight onto the face. I can mind that one. Oops. I have to be super quiet here because I need to concentrate. We need to do that eyebrow as well, the same colour. And then we've got these flowers I have to be mindful of. I want to mind them being white, but I don't think it'll go very well. I'd recommend probably switching to a smaller brush with these fiddly bits, but I've already started now. I'm going to try and work, not worry too much that I'm going over some areas that I don't want to. You know what, I didn't even realise she was holding that in her hand. What do they call that? A trident? Trident? I'm getting there, slowly but surely. They're actually ideal, these little palettes, you know, because if you struggle picking a colour palette, I mean, it's all just there for you, and then you just have to add a little bit of pencil. You're just matching the pencil colours to the paint. It's perfect, really. I think I do prefer the vintage one. That's my favourite one. I think I've got 4 out of the 4 that I've got. That's the one that I like best. But I thought, while it was under the sea theme, this would be perfect. I think that I might make like a silvery grey colour, so obviously I can't use the paints unfortunately for this. And maybe make the jewellery and the pearls match. It's just the flowers now, I'm just not sure what could, maybe the Caribbean Sea one. So what's that? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So it's that end one. I have got the corals to fill in as well, but I think I might do them off camera because they're so tiny it'll take me forever and I'll be really quiet concentrating. But I'll just use, if I don't like this colour for the flowers, I'll use this colour. I'm not sure. I think if I really water it down, it might not be too bad, this shade. because I didn't really want them, you know, really dark. Well, that might be alright, that actually. So I'll start off at the top. Oh yeah, that's fine. So this will just give a hint of colour, and then when I come to using the pencils, you'll just be able to see this poking through. It's perfect. I might actually use the more pigmented version that I've already got there in the palette to do. I will actually to do the coral. Oh, that's worked out, hasn't it? Oh, I just got it on the jewellery. It's alright, that's going to be grey. Alright, so I think that's it for the painting part. So like I said, I'll just do these off camera. It's just a case of filling them in. I'll use that exact same colour, it'll just be a little bit more pigmented. But what I might do is make this part 1 and then do part 2, so it's not 2 really long videos for everyone, because I know some people like the long ones and some people don't, but I could always add it together if you want me to. But yeah, I think this will be the end of part 1, and I really like how this is turning out. I mean, that just looks a bit blacky at the minute because there's literally no shading on it, but I promise you it will look better. So look forward to part 2. I will see you in the next one. Bye.